have this conversation a little bit about parenting and technology tools. I think there's been a lot of conversations today about kids and tech and technology and parenting, but the way technology has impacted parenting, no one could foresee that we'd all be staring at our phones all the time. Taking more pictures in the last 2 years than have been taken in all of human history. Sharing things about our children and our families that maybe we shouldn't be. And our kids sharing like never before. And we're all seeing the repercussions of parenting behind a screen and being a child behind a screen. But there are good things. And we're going to talk about some of those findings with this wonderful panel. And I'm going to have you guys go down the row and introduce yourselves.
Sure. Hi, my name's Dulcie Madden. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Nemo. And what we're doing is we're building the connected nursery. Can you hear me? Yeah? A little bit like that? All right, this might look awkward, so just bear with me. But we're building the connected nursery, and what we're trying to do is to help babies sleep more so that parents can sleep more, and in turn, the entire household can be happier. What we've got is a wearable baby monitor, this guy right here. The green stripes in the front are actually respiration sensors, so we can pick up breathing data. And then, yep. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Then with the little green turtle right there, we are able to also pick up body position, skin temperature, and we're able to look at wake, sleep, and activity levels. That all goes right to your smartphone. So anywhere you are, whether at the office, your first date night, you're just checking in the middle of the night, you're able to get the information right there. We also provide a nightly report to let you know how your baby slept, so that ultimately over time, the goal is to be able to look at sleep trends to help your baby start transitioning to sleeping through the night as they move down to fewer naps a day, and to ultimately get to a better rested household.
Sounds good.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gail Horwood, and I head up global digital strategy at Johnson & Johnson Consumer Companies.
And, sorry. And my name is Nancy Dusso-Smith. I warned them, I'm a super loud talker, so I don't even usually use a microphone. So, dude who's doing the mix, just be ready. You got me? Okay, fantastic. And I am the CMO and co-founder of Levey, which, as we talked about earlier, is about managing a family's photos and videos. So today, if you're one person, it's pretty easy to handle your own pictures. You back it up to your laptop, you're good. Average family of 4 has 10 photo-taking devices, and they're stored all over the place. Usernames, passwords to remember. It's a mess. So we worked with Intel to solve that problem. And so we've created an amazing device that pulls it all in and allows you to do what we call coping with your photos, collecting, organizing, protecting, and enjoying. So you can access all your photos from anywhere. That's great.
So, go figure. I was at the doctor yesterday, and I was diagnosed with the syndrome. And it's contagious. I thought, whatever. But then the doctor said that the excessive use of filler words is epidemic with Gen Zers. She said there's this virulent conversational virus that's raging through the young American population, and that I need to do something about it. So who am I? So I'm Audrey Mann Cronin. I'm a communications consultant. I'm a blogger for Our Digital Daughters. I'm the founder of Say It Media, but most importantly, I'm a mom of 2 teenagers, and I have some slides. Should I show them? Can I whip through them now? Okay, so when it comes to our teenagers, you've probably noticed there's a new verbal fashion trend of epidemic proportions. Totally, whatever. I can't even, so. Valley Girl Speak has not only made it into the 21st century, it's gotten even more epidemic and more pervasive. So next slide. The thing is, kids today have so many social channels.
It's not, there it is.
Okay, so the next one, please. No, next one. Actually, 2 more. That's it.
Here, I'm going to let you do it.
Oh, that would be good. So it's the one on the right. So the thing is today, kids have so many social channels to communicate on, which is great, but they're reducing their opportunity to have verbal interactions, face-to-face, articulate conversations. According to Sherry Turkle, who wrote Reclaiming Conversation, we're raising a generation of kids that would rather text than talk. And when they're having real-time conversations, they're literally at a loss for words. And they're filling those words with filler words, like these whatevers. When I ask my own kids and their friends why they'd rather text than talk, they say that they like to control what they're going to say. They say it's a little scary to talk on the fly. So how did this become my baby? Well, it was actually my baby. My very articulate and well-spoken and poised daughter turned 14 and suddenly started using all these filler words. And I thought, oh no, not her. Has she too fallen into this verbal trap? And I didn't want to pick on her because we pick on our kids for so many things. But I did want to bring awareness to this issue and pull her out of this verbal trap, especially before my younger son fell in. So the truth is that filler words and other verbal habits weaken our speech, water down our meaning, and distract our listener. Whether your teen is giving a presentation in front of a class or interviewing for an internship or a job or maybe meeting with a college recruiter or just having a conversation, speaking articulately and with confidence is paramount to being taken seriously. So speaking of being taken seriously, you may remember this moment was at a baseball game. Girls were caught texting and taking selfies. The video went viral, and the commentators had so much fun mocking them. They said, "Welcome to parenting in 2015. Every girl is locked into her phone. We need an intervention." So remember conversation when you looked somebody in the eye and you focused on what they were saying and you talked about everything from what you had for dinner to whether or not you loved Star Wars to why the Zuckerbergs named their daughter Max. Well, you know, we ask our kids to practice so many things, ballet, soccer, baseball. How about we ask them to practice having a conversation without saying like 5 times in every sentence? There's nothing pathological about it, right? It's just a habit like anything else. So today I'm announcing an app that turns our smartphones, this addiction, actually into a solution. So welcome to Like So. Like So is your personal speech coach. Like So is a private and fun way to improve your speaking skills. You speak into the app, it hears you, it captures what you're saying, and it counts all those filler words and then gives you results back. So now we can all learn how to say it like so without saying like and so. And if you're wondering if I used my app for this presentation, I did. Didn't score that well, I got about a 90% articulate. Thank you so much.
Now I'm totally paranoid about how I'm going to speak for the rest of the session. Keep that in mind when we do Q&A at the end. We're going to have the app running. But so, Gail, I want to start with you. Johnson & Johnson is such an iconic family brand. Everyone uses the baby shampoo. It's like one of the first things you get when you have a baby is the baby shampoo. You guys, so from baby shampoo to healthcare, I think you've tapped into the American family home for generations. What do you see as the coming trends? How do you see Johnson & Johnson capitalizing on the opportunities of a new connected family?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really exciting is that it makes reaching consumers individually that much easier. And it's no accident that I carried my cell phone on stage, and we all did. It's mobile, and it's with us all the time. So Johnson & Johnson has Baby Center. It reaches 45 million parents a year, 13 countries and 10 languages, and we do a lot of research. So one thing this enables us to do is a lot of research and learn insights about our consumers. And one of the things we learned is that 90% of moms carry this phone in all developing nations, in US and UK and Germany and China, et cetera. And they have it with them when they're breastfeeding. They have it with them at 4 a.m. In fact, usage, we've learned, peaks from 4 to 7 a.m. And so that presents so many unique opportunities for us to solve their unique problems. One of the biggest being sleep. And I was going to show you our Johnson's bedtime sleep app, which takes our clinically proven scientific solution. I don't know if you can see that. Can you?
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry. There's one of her. And enables it to be accessed by the mom or the parent when they need it at any time of the day or night. It tracks sleep patterns. It takes them through our clinically proven routine. So things like this, and it's not just apps, but it's mobile, and the fact that this technology is with consumers and our moms and our parents at every moment of every day. And so it enables us to really reach them in new ways.
So Dulcie, I think that leads a little bit into what you guys do with the connected onesie. And I remember the first time my daughters, I had twins, slept through the night, I was sure they were dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I woke up in the
Yeah.
morning, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
who's not breathing? So this is amazing to me because it takes that anxiety and fear out of it. Or it could make you crazier because you could be checking it all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could totally be too much over-information, and when you're on your phone all the time, there's 1,000 forums, there's 1,000 different information points, and it can drive you crazy. And you also, I think, as a new mom, don't know what to trust and who to trust, and really you just need to be learning your own instinct and going from there. And so when we were designing our app, the biggest thing we did was a ton of user testing to try to figure out what exactly does a parent need. Is this going to be too much? Is this the right thing? How can we simplify it? Can we color code it? How exactly can we make this be as seamless for a parent as possible? And then we talked to our users, so making sure that this isn't making them be more anxious.
Right.
The goal is to get everyone to sleep, and if we're really doing our job on just the peace of mind part of it, maybe you don't even need our product after a week, a couple months. But hopefully we can still be there to help you sleep train, to help you keep getting a little bit further down the developmental pathway.
No, that's great. And I think, so hand in hand with a new baby is the pictures of the new baby that you just, I mean, at this point, because we're taking digital pictures, because it's our phone, I think every baby is trained to just like go like this, so as soon as they see their parent take the phone out. So Nancy,
Yes.
we talk about this a lot. We talked about this when you and I met. The Today Show just did a segment on families sharing photos, parents sharing photos, and then the parent who realizes their photo was taken and is now in ad in Prague, hanging up on a billboard somewhere. And there's no way to really guard against that other than watermarking your picture down the center, or having a private solution.
Right. I mean, I think, like you said, we live in a world today where so much is documented by photography, right? We're taking pictures of everything. We're taking pictures from receipts, from our parking spots. We're taking pictures of, I mean, we're taking pictures, right? And to say we're going to stop sharing them totally isn't practical. But it is also no longer practical that I have some friends who maybe still do it because I'm older, but they used to put everything on Facebook, right? And Facebook was like their storage place, right? They go on a trip and they'd load all the pictures on Facebook. Well, I don't want to look through 900 photos of your trip to Disney, maybe just the top 3, right? And being careful about those 3 that you share. Now, the problem is that grandma still wants to see the 900, right? And your husband wants to see the 900, and they're stuck on your laptop somewhere, and you can't get to them, and it's this whole issue. But when we start talking about keeping things safe, there's a lot of people who are nervous about the cloud. There's a lot of people who love the cloud. We're not saying one or the other is right or wrong. We're saying be cautious of where you put your photos and how you manage them. With Bevy, what's really nice is that there is storage within it. So inside of Bevy, you can store up to 1 million photos and then access them all through the app privately. And all of your family members can too from wherever you are. So instead of having to put it on a cloud service and give usernames and passwords and wonder who's accessing it and just having it all kind of dump in, it pulls it all in and then gives you organization tools so you can actually access them all in a smart way. And a lot of people who we talk to and have been testing this product love the fact that it's offline. And then we have a group of people who say, great, but I want to back it up to the cloud, so I'm super safe if my house burns down. You can do that too, right? So we want to make sure that it's the right solution for everybody, but just be smart. We talked about it. We have a mutual friend whose kids literally ended up on a billboard in, where was it, Prague?
Prague.
In Prague, and she got a picture and said, isn't that great? Your kids are models. And she's like, no, no, they're not. What? And so you have to be aware when you're putting things out online that there is that possibility. People are just going to take them and use them. So those things you want to keep. That bathtub picture, don't put it on Facebook. A, your kids will hate you in 10 years because it's not going away. But also, it's just not the safest thing. Keep that on your bevy that you and your family can access, but nobody else needs to.
And I think part of that too is as parents, we've all been thrown into technology together, and you'll hear parents often say like, oh, my kid's so much better than I am. And I always say, like, don't ever say that in front of your children. You should never admit that. But you're actually teaching your kids when you're sharing pictures of them in the bathtub from a very early age that it's okay to share everything. And then we turn around and we freak out when our kids are sexting or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
What's really interesting is you're sort of teaching your whole family to use a system and a way to be connected that's safer.
Yeah, it's safer and it's enjoyable because it's your own. There's literally a, I don't know if we can go to that little camera again. I'll show you really quick. But you have a family activity feed. And what happens is whenever anybody in my family adds a photo, it goes into my activity feed. Whenever they create an album, it goes into my activity feed. And so, well, that's clear as mud. So basically what it is it shows me whenever anybody's doing something in my family, it's our social media feed. It's private, it's just for us, which is
really
nice.
cool. And Audrey, we came back to this whole idea of modeling behavior for our kids, and a lot of adults are like this, you know, there was a guy who just walked off a cliff in San Diego or somewhere, right? Because he was staring at his phone. When you're talking about making eye contact and speaking articulately, it's not just kids, is it?
It's not. It's not just kids.
Oh
It's
God,
really,
how many times did I say like?
Now you're going to be
I was counting,
Oh,
and we
my
all
goodness.
did really well.
Okay.
No, we're
Thank you.
scoring really well. No, you're absolutely right. And ultimately, almost every single person I talk to about this app is immediately silenced and self-conscious. And then when they start talking, they say, you know, and like, no. So we all do it. It's the excessive use of it, but absolutely, it's modeling. You need to understand that how you speak to your kids and whether or not you have your head down all the time and really valuing those conversations, those dinner conversations where their phones are down and you're looking at each other. Kids are not used to these in-the-face long-term conversations. Their heads are down. So we need to help them with that.
I think with the opportunity that we're all talking about is that the behaviors have evolved because of technology, and I think the companies that really pay attention to consumers and really understand their needs uniquely and then adapt them to these new technologies. So technology it's fundamentally changed how we serve consumers. It's disrupted their lives, but in a way it's made it easier to reach them and really understand them one-to-one. So Dulcie and I were talking about, it's really taking the time, and it's something that we do very carefully and believe we've invested in social listening and all sorts of new techniques to really understand consumer behavior, because the best products and solutions really solve problems, and you're all solving these unique problems. And we couldn't stop talking in the speaker ready room because we're like, wait, that's the problem I have. Thank you so much. So I think it's really about this taking these insights, thinking about them, and then stripping them down and really creating products and solutions that are serving consumers' needs. And if I go back to, you know, one of the things we learned through some of the work we've done in social listening, and we did it in multiple countries, so it's a global truth, is that parents fret about how their children sleep, and particularly new parents. And so, you know, we could solve lots of problems for parents, but we chose to really focus on a few and really super solve them. And an app is part of that. It's also a product, so it's an ecosystem of things, and it's not just one thing anymore. You've said that there's multiple choices for how you store your photos. There's multiple ways to put your child to bed, but we have, you know, clinically proven solutions that will help you do that and then track it. But then, you know, to your point, you know, you may not need that anymore, and that's fine too. We're just there to solve a problem.
Yeah, there are certain core parenting truths, right? And when your baby is a baby, there's only so much they do, and it's eat, pee, poop, sleep. Like, and you kind of hope you get to do those things too during your time as a parent. But it is interesting because I do think that is where most parental anxiety lies, particularly in the early years, is are they eating enough? Are they gaining enough weight? And are they sleeping? And are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a 5-year-old. I wish I had that. Because I think for the first, I want to say 8 months, I slept with a hand on her back.
Yeah.
Right? Just making sure she was breathing. I'm so afraid.
It's interesting. So when you see technology that comes in that actually solves a problem, it works. It works for parents. It's much different than someone deciding there is this weird problem or they have this very personal problem and then they decide everyone has this. And then you see those products fail and you understand why. It's just being forced onto something that wasn't a sort of real core parenting truth.
Yeah, and I think that by listening, it's the most important thing, and that helps you build a better product, but it also helps you build trust. And I think the companies that do it really well have built trust time and time and time again, and have been transparent about what they're doing, and then they build products that they know can actually really hit it home, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Nancy, you mentioned when we were not on stage that you have this auto duplicator feature.
Deduplicating,
And
yeah.
I mean, Gail's whole face lit up. She was like, what? You can get rid of all my duplicate photos?
She said, say no more, say no more.
You got me. You had me at hello.
That is a photo holy grail.
Yeah. So for a lot of families, right, you have one picture and someone loves it. It's a great picture of the whole family. So everybody wants it. So they put it on all their own devices, right? So now you got it on your laptop. Your husband's got it on his laptop. Your kids have it on their laptops or their iPads, and you got it on your phone so you can show your friends when you're out. Now that same picture is taking up space on everything. And so when you pull things into Bevy, we can match by photo, not by name. So I might have named it great picture of the kids, and my husband would have got great picture of me, because that's how he rolls. So that way, you know, when it all comes in, we're looking picture to picture, and it dedupes, and now you have one master copy. We had some folks who said, I have 50,000 photos, I put them all in, and it only said it imported 35,000. It's like, well, because the rest were duplicates, right? It's pretty eye-opening.
And we all do that. We're all guilty of that, and we've all been through cloud services that have then disappeared.
Yes.
Which is also, I think, for parents, a really frightening thing.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have things on 20 different devices and all these different clouds, because now instead of just printing a picture and having it in a shoebox, I mean, my grandmother has her pictures from 1928 with her camp girlfriends. But I don't have that. They're all it's stuck in a cloud somewhere, and I just cross my fingers.
And you can't find them.
No,
You don't know where they are.
and I don't look at them. So Audrey, when you're dealing with teens, because now we go from baby to teen, similar problems in some ways. They don't sleep enough.
They don't.
You're worried about it. But this whole thing, sending your kids out into the world and being worried about whether or not they can get a job or they're going to do well in their college interview.
Right.
Public speaking has, in many ways, taken a back seat to Instagram
It has.
and texting.
Yeah.
So how do you, what is the feedback you get from teens themselves, though? Because again, you don't want to be the mom pushing this solution on kids who don't see a problem.
Exactly. You know, some cases we're the worst ones to be criticizing our kids about these things. The funny thing is, I've been writing and talking about this, but it came about that my daughter, in the backseat of my car, on the way to a birthday party with 4 other girls, she was 14 years old, started playing a game called, I think it was called the game or something like that. And one kid would pick a topic, stop sign or earwax or something crazy, and then the other one had to talk about it for 60 seconds without saying or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, they're actually playing a game. I didn't do anything. I never even mentioned anything. And then my daughter told me later they do this in camp. So kids are aware that they have this issue, and my daughter was just telling me this story. She was in class, and they were doing group projects, and one of the girls started saying so many times at another table that at her table, a kid started holding up a sign and writing them down, and then at the end he said, you said 18 times. And she was mortified. So they are aware of it, but I think the practice of actually being able to talk on the fly is hard. And I think, like I said, we ask them to practice so many things, even writing. But how about speaking and talking without saying all these filler words? It's really not that easy. You do have to practice. You need to be aware, but it is something to practice.
Well, thank all of you. We're going to take some questions now, and we're not going to count how many times you say like or You can start the sentence with so. It's all good. But we'll take some questions if anyone has questions about technology and parenting. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Is it easy to go and grab it from
Yes.
there and put it in? Because that's one of the problems that I found with some of the other things, that then when I go to do something like that.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah, and it was actually one of the early feedback from our beta testers, right? We were testing like crazy. They're like, great, everything's there. Now how do I do something with it, right? So we have an app for your computers, and we are completely device agnostic. So if you have in your house a Mac, and you also have a Windows computer or whatever, we have apps for all of that. And you open it up, you pull in the photos, and then you're able to put it on whatever photo site you prefer, because there are a lot of them. Some people like Shutterfly, some people like different ones, and you can make that poster right there. But I did it just this Christmas for my husband, right? So I created an album of him and my daughter on my phone, and then I just pulled that in and was able to make it literally in a matter of minutes. Infinitely easier than it's ever been. So yes, and we're happy to, we have a booth here if you're afterwards, if you'd like to come and see me, I can show you how it works. It's super easy.
Since you're talking already, my question is about when you take millions of images, as I have over my life,
Yeah.
you always wonder, is there a better way to name things, to store them so that I can find them later?
Yeah.
As opposed to DSC 1000.
Yes.
You have stuff on your site about how to do that.
Sure, so that's a great question. And my co-founder, Firdaus, is over here. He's our CEO. And he and I are the polar opposite ends of that spectrum. He has labeled every picture he's taken since 1992, and that's because he's the MIT engineer and he has to, okay, or else he can't sleep. I don't label anything, right? So all of my pictures are 965321, whatever,
That's
right?
because there's a technology solution
I'm
now.
like, I can't, if I'm searching for something by name, it's not gonna happen. And I think a lot of people have that problem today, right? They can't find it. That's why we try to do it visually and by date. So all the metadata on any digital photo you've taken comes in with it and automatically organizes for you. Okay, so all of it comes in a timeline. Then if you want to highlight, so say you took a trip to Disney. I'm just throwing it out there because I like to take trips to Disney with my family, right? I know when I'm gone in September. Now my husband, all of his pictures have come in. We're there at the same amount of time. I go, add album, I highlight that time that we're there, and I say create album, and they're all in the Disney album. So it makes it so much easier to multi-label things. We don't have a way in which you can say, look for all pictures of oranges and label them orange. Right? But I don't know if you take a lot of orange pictures, right? But there's lots of software out there that we're looking to integrate with that are good solutions. So.
Yes.
Question for Gail, back for everyone as well. When you think about this family now, it's also extending to where the adult parents or grandparents
Sure.
are also living in the home, and all of your solutions, especially talking about sleep, seem to also have applications to those older people in the homes. Do you have plans to extend your market, look at that population as well, because they are right there a lot of times.
Sure.
With your targeting.
We absolutely serve those populations, and we definitely have plans to think about them holistically, absolutely. Certain products are built, they're purpose-built for certain audiences and certain needs, and so we can take some of the underlying technology and apply that, and we do have plans to do that. But the macro point is yes, absolutely, and we're learning from all of this. So I really, really believe, I have been in digital for 20 years building products and services, not always in the healthcare space, and I really believe we're at the beginning of it because there's so much we're learning, and the devices change, and the technologies change, and the integrations change, and the idea that you can now integrate multiple technologies into solutions. And so we're really evolving, and a lot of our strategy is around launching and learning and iterating and understanding. Again, the core thing we do is understand the consumer's needs and then build science-based solutions that are clinically proven on top of that. So absolutely is the answer to that question.
And I want to add in something, because I came from, my background is with iRobot. I don't know if anyone here has ever heard of Roomba. Yay. But so I launched the first Roomba and was the head of their marketing for 13 years. And left to found this company. And when we started selling Roomba in 2002, we had a awakening that one of the biggest segments were elderly or retirees. And we're like, what? Early robot vacuums? Like early adopter? It wasn't obvious until we started selling it.
Right.
And then they're like, they want to maintain a clean home. They don't want to do the work. Like health-wise, it was difficult. So there was an immediate need. It wasn't just a cool gadget, it was useful. Yeah. And it was like light bulb, oh, hey, useful, that's great. Yeah. And so as we looked at, for us with Bevy, same thing. One of the most vocal group for us is what we call retirees, because they have time. They want to get all those pictures sorted. They want those grandkid pictures. They don't want the 6 pictures when you came back from the safari that you sent them on email. They want the 5,000 that happened with all the lions and everything else, right? So they're very vocal about technology and wanting it incorporated. And so we took a lot of time to make sure, we say our app is easy for 4-year-olds to 84-year-olds to use. And it was a big part of our development to make sure that no matter how old you are, you can enjoy and use this app and device.
That's it. I think we're out of time.
Oh, so
Thank you. Perfect. You ended it perfectly at 0. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.